Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Ashley and this is Ashley Talks Movies. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review of the new horror comedy Freaky, which is about a teenage girl named Millie who swaps bodies with a serial killer known as the Blissfield Butcher, played by Vince Vaughn. Shortly after swapping bodies, Millie discovers that if they stay swapped for over 24 hours, the swap will become permanent. Now, before I get into a full review of the film, while I have you here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos, and also hit that notification bell so you get notified every time a new video is posted. Okay, so on to the review. Freaky is essentially Freaky Friday meets Friday the 13th, and it's pretty obvious from the name. This is a slasher film with some comedy elements thrown in, and although there are a few funny moments in this film, ultimately this film falls a little flat. The biggest problem I have with this film is that it is a wonderful, wonderful concept, a great idea, but it's never fully realized. In a lot of ways, it just doesn't quite land. Part of the problem is the script, which I think is probably the weakest part of this film. The dialogue is pretty bad in places, and the character development isn't really there. You have Millie, who's played by Kathryn Newton. She's the teenager that swaps bodies with the serial killer played by Vince Vaughn. And ultimately, in terms of the characters, Vince Vaughn is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this film, mostly because once the two characters swap places, Kathryn Newton, when she's playing the serial killer, isn't given a lot to do. The character is not fully developed, and so she doesn't really have much to do with that character. She just kind of like stalks around and mopes and glares and doesn't really have a lot of dialogue, and she has these moments where she's like, you know, seeking revenge, but beyond that, like, she's really not given a lot to do. Vaughn, on the other hand, gets to have a lot of fun with his role because he's essentially playing a teenage girl. And that should have been a lot more fun than it was in the film. I mean, he does a good job with it. I mean, he's having fun with it. His mannerisms, his voice, how he plays it works pretty well. But it could have been a lot better. The other characters in this film aren't really fleshed out that well either. I mean, Millie's two best friends are probably the only other characters I think that were really interesting in this film, and the actors that played those characters did a good job of what they were given. And I wish those characters would have a little bit more to do because they are the most interesting characters beyond the two leads. But, you know, it does have some funny moments in it. I laughed a couple of times, probably not as much as I would have liked to have laughed in this movie, but there are a couple of funny moments, and mostly the funny moments are delivered by Vince Vaughn, because again, he does a really good job here. It's such a great concept, such a great idea, and I just don't think it fully realized it, even though there are so many elements in this film that should have worked really, really well. Again, the things that did work well were, you know, Vince Vaughn, his performance, and, you know, the funny moments in this film I think worked really well too. Side note, not really a knock against the film, it's just a stray observation. I honestly think Freaky would have probably done really well if it had been released around Halloween. I don't know what the decision was behind releasing it now. Not that horror movies or slasher movies have to come out around Halloween, but I just think, given everything that's been happening this year, this probably would have been a really good film to have released around Halloween. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Freaky. Let me know what you think about the film in the comment section below. While you're here, like this video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this.